Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to discuss specificity and sensitivity when it comes to test validity measures. If you're in PT school, I'm sure you've heard of the mnemonics SPIN, specificity if positive rules in, and SNOUT, sensitivity if negative rules out. When you go and you look at the definitions of specificity and sensitivity though, it can become a little bit confusing. So let's go ahead and try and conceptualize this. When we're looking at specificity, the definition of a test being very specific is the test that it's testing for a specific pathology is coming out negative, and the people who are testing negative do not have that disease or pathology. So it's a true negative. The people that are testing negative are actually negative for the disease or pathology. So then when we think about SPIN, specificity rules in, it's kind of like, but we're looking at the people who are negative for the test and are testing negative. Well, let's go ahead and talk about it. If we have 100% of people who do not have a disease and they're testing negative for that specific disease, well, then we can say if someone's testing positive for that disease, they could be ruled in to potentially have the specific disease that we're looking for. Therefore, specificity rules in, because we know that everyone that's testing negative does not have the actual disease. So the person who is testing positive may in fact have this specific disease or pathology that we're looking for. When we talk about SNOUT, we're thinking the exact opposite, all right? So the definition of SNOUT is the percent of people who actually have the disease or the pathology are testing positive on the special test that we're looking at. Now, when we're thinking of something that's a little bit too sensitive, we like to think of a hyperactive smoke detector. So it's so sensitive that every single time you cook, it goes off. Well, hey, I don't want that thing in my life. It's too sensitive for me. Get it out of here. So then we go back to sensitivity. Percentage of people who actually have the disease are testing positive for the disease. Therefore, if somebody gets a negative test, we're like, you know what? Good for you. You likely don't have this disease or pathology because everyone who does have this disease is testing positive on this special test. So if you're negative, sensitivity can rule you out. If the test is very sensitive and someone gets a negative value on that special test, you can rule them out, all right? Because everyone who actually has that disease or pathology is going to test positive on a sensitive special test, all right? Now, when we're talking about this, we want to make sure that we're looking at values over 95% specificity or sensitivity. Because if the value is less than that, it gets a little bit more muddy to determine if this person actually has that disease or pathology. Let's say we have a 50-50. Well, you're like, all right, well, 50% of the people who have the disease are testing positive. That doesn't really give you a good standing that if someone's testing negative on the test, that they're actually negative for the disease. So we want to make sure that we're looking at those values and we're determining that whatever test we're providing to these patients to come up with an assessment, an idea of what's going on, what kind of diagnoses or pathology that they can have, we're looking at values that are in the higher 90 percentile ranges, all right? That we're not just going willy-nilly, anything that has a 20% specificity, well, we can rule someone in. That's not the case, all right? So make sure that, of course, you remember the mnemonic SPIN and SNOUT. They'll quickly help you memorize, but to conceptualize, we want to know that the people who are testing positive on a specific special test can be ruled in because everyone that's testing negative does not have the disease. And for someone who's testing negative on a sensitive special test, they don't have the disease, they can be ruled out because everyone who actually has the disease is testing positive on that special test. So I know it's a lot, I know it's a quick amount of time. If you have any questions or you need a little bit further tutoring on this, please feel free to drop it in the comments. If this video helped you, give it a like and subscribe to my channel. If there's anything specific you want me to go over, I would love to hear it in the comments. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a wonderful day. Bye.